People yap about the dreams they chase, big plans on show in a noisy space, talking loud but moving slow, hollow words where actions go. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Empty promises fill the air. Procrastination everywhere. Stop the act, just make the move. Whoa. Show your grind, let talent groove. Whoa. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Enough of words, let's see the deeds. Don't just plant but sow the seeds. Show the grit beneath your skin. Let the real work begin. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Enough of words, let's see the deeds. Don't just plant but sow the seeds. Show the grit beneath your skin. Let the real work begin. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Words, let's see the deeds. Just plant and sow the seeds. Show the grit beneath your skin. Let the real work begin. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. How is everyone doing tonight? Tonight is Tuesday, May 6, 2025. How are you doing? Hopefully everyone is doing phenomenal. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is everyone into? How is your week going? Let me know in the chat. I am hoping that you're having a great, productive week and the month of May. We are in the month of, I just can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Can you believe that we've already released two albums this year already? We've worked on ethical hacking. We've been building a port scanner. We pivoted to work on ECS clusters and so much in 5 months. The beginning of 5 months, We have done so much already. I am so excited. Like I said, we're Engineered to Win. I am Tech Trav. We are Engineered to Win. This is the Tech Q&A, career questions, tech questions, whatever it may be. I am here to answer for you. You can call in if you want. We might have 1 or 2 people calling in tonight to have a conversation, so I am up for that whenever it happens. I kind of do need to talk to Rod Brown because I'm getting confused. I am getting confused with this whole compassion thing. I am so lost. But if Rod Brown calls in, I will have a part 2 about this whole compassion talk because I am just so all over the place with. Anyways, we're here for Tech Q&A. Let's jump into our agenda for tonight, and then we will get to the chat and then to our questions and or our callers, right? So on the agenda, first and foremost, I want to take the opportunity to say welcome to all of the new subscribers on YouTube and the new followers on Twitch. I am making a dedicated effort to give more attention to those on Twitch. I've been neglectful of Twitch, I must say, but working on that to highlight them more. I've been rated 2 times and I didn't even know it. So I have notifications in place for when people send people my way that I can properly address it and salute them. So that is the plan. That's what we're doing, all right? So thank you so much to all of the new subscribers, the new followers, those who have been with me for a very, very long time, those who are brand new, those who watch from the clouds, and those who are very, very active in the chat. I appreciate every last one of you.
I appreciate you.
And shout out to all of the Tech Coach Off Patreon members, my tech barbarians, my tech savages, my tech prodigy members, my technical explorers, those who sign up for free. Every last one of you, I love to see how hard that you are working. I'll tell you this, right? I got a message out of the blue today to somebody that I talked to on and off, about ideas and stuff like that, and they were like, "Oh, I was talking to somebody and they told me they were using AI to do this, and a light bulb hit, and I'm like, that's an interesting idea. We should follow up on that." So I am just so excited when I see people that I talk to and they come back around like, "Oh, I have this idea," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's try to run it up." We love to run it up. So I always get excited when I see this happen. All right. So shout out to all of the Tech Coach Off Patreon members, and we are the best. We are the best.
We the best.
Shout out to my tech mercenaries, my YouTube members who keep the channel up and running, who take advantage of the early release of the videos that I do. I'm thinking about creating some specialized YouTube videos as well for that shows like how I set things up, how I set up the stream and stuff like that in case anybody's interested. I might do some things like that because I have a lot for the software that I use. I have like all these little tips and tricks that I use to set up my stream deck, to set up my teleprompter over here. Shout out to Rod Brown from the Nourishing Word who told me about the teleprompter. When they told me you had a teleprompter, you know what? I gotta get me a teleprompter, and it's been absolutely amazing. I can actually look into the camera and look right at you, right into your soul. AR Smitty, I'm looking right into your soul. Did you start on that Python course yet, AR Smitty? I'm looking right into your soul, AR Smitty. Did you start yet? See, that shout out to Rod Brown who told me about the teleprompter. Now I can look straight into AR Smitty's soul and say, how is that Python going? How is that Python going, AR Smitty? See, I'm just, but just different content about maybe like more of the YouTube streaming stuff of what I do here. So I'll figure that out. I will get my life together. All right. So what else do we have? Do me a favor early on. If you are finding value here, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification so you know every time we go live and drop new content. TechCoachDrop.dev. Sign up today. and get access to amazing content. We had like, you get access to when we do meetups online. I had an amazing meetup with Magnetar and a lot of Patreon members who joined, talking about federal employment. I learned a lot, and I am going to chop it up into small digestible pieces and put it on the Patreon so that anyone who signed up has access to that. A lot of things going on in there. techcoachrob.dev. Don't hesitate. Get added value into your life today. All right. And I know here on YouTube, I have to make it entertaining, exciting, and stuff like that. But in the Patreon, we get straight to it. We are working because I want you to win. All right. So, what else do we have? Upcoming shows tomorrow morning, large language models. We're going to continue working on Gradio. We started on that yesterday. Super cool way to build UIs around large language models. And that led me to looking into a platform called Lovable today, thanks to Wavenerd. Hopefully Wavenerd gets here because I started looking at the email he sent me and I was impressed. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. But hopefully Wavenerd gets here sometime this stream so I can mention that. But so tomorrow morning, large language models, continuing with Gradio. Tomorrow at noon, we're going to be premiering our software explorations. We are going to be talking about, I'm going to show you how to create an AWS access key. So after you have your account, let's say you want to access AWS through Python or Java, JavaScript, whatever, C#, whatever, or you want to do it through the command line interface, you are going to need an access key. So I'm going to be showing you how to create an access key, because then the following week, I'm going to show you how to download the command line interface and configure it so that you can make your connection. And then from there, we're going to start doing S3, like uploading files to S3 from the command line, from Python, from Java, from JavaScript. All of those we're gonna get very familiar with that, because the cloud storage, like one of the first parts that you get into, and then eventually we're gonna get into EC2, showing you how to set that up, right? So many things coming. Just follow along, subscribe to the channel, sign up for the Patreon, get access to even better content. All right. So with that being said, let's get to the chat and we will get to our questions. All right. So let's see who we have in the building. AR Smitty says, what up, Dope Tech Coach Ralph? What's going on, AR Smitty? Hopefully you are doing phenomenal. Sorry to have to pick on you, AR Smitty. You are the first name here. And I was like, I know AR Smitty is interested in Python. Let me see what AR Smitty is up to. Blame Rod Brown. If I didn't have the teleprompter, AR Smitty, I would not be able to use the example. So it is all Rod Brown's fault. All right. So I'm just saying. All right. Let's see AR Smitty with the face. I hear you, AR Smitty. All right. So what am I doing with my life? Hold on. All right. There we go. All right. So let's get to it tonight. Let me go over to boom. All right. So I'm going to turn on the call-in link in case anybody wants to call in and have a conversation. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Let me go and set up it to rotate in the chat as well in case anybody wants to have a conversation. I am open to talk to anybody about anything related to tech, careers, things like that, mindset, things of that nature, right? So as we get started, I'm going to say this, right? Take this as a little icebreaker. I don't change. What do I mean by that? So I need to be convinced in order to, let me put it like this. I see a lot of people say a lot of things, and there is never any consistency. Like somebody can say something today, which is totally contradictory to what they said yesterday or the week before or the actions that they did. And so me, like, I am very, very strict, stubborn, rigid. When I have a goal in mind, I am very, very focused on it, and there will be nothing that will stop me from accomplishing it. And that's why I have to be so strict, so rigid, and a lot of things that I do. One, and hey, Monica, how's it going? Monica understands this too, right? One missed semicolon, one missed comma, a little typo, and everything goes boom, right? So, and I just take that mindset and apply it to all the things that I do. And a lot of people, they'll come to me and say, oh, I'm trying to accomplish this, I'm trying to accomplish that. And I'm like, all right, well, this is what you have to do. And then they do it a little bit, and then they go, who knows where. Then they come back to it a little bit, and they go, who knows where. And people will try to say, well, you have to be nice and compassionate and stuff like that. I'm like, look, I don't think that, and this might be where me and Rod Brown have a chat. I don't think that everybody needs to be compassionate. Maybe your mom, maybe your dad, the whole world, the rest of the world, they don't owe you anything. It is about results. That's why one of my favorite songs on the Frenemies album, available on all streaming platforms, is Shut Up and Produce. A lot of people talk, but the question is, what are you doing? Somebody got mad at me the other day because I'm like, you haven't done anything. And they're like, yes, I swear, I read it like this. They put their hands on their hips. Yes, I have. I'm like, no, you haven't. And they got mad at me. I'm like, all right, cool, be bad, but good luck, right? So I'm like, I have to be super strict with myself and with the people who claim they want my help, because I'm like, we got to keep pushing forward. We have to be successful. We have to win. A lot of people complain about their lot in life, but then when it's time to actually do something about it, nothing at all.
Bruh.
And I am not going to be contributing to the lack of success to anybody's life. Do what you want to do. As for me and my household, we are going to win. We are going to continue to run it up. All right, so let me check the chat one last time before we get started. We got Monica in the building, says, hey all, lurking and working. Oh, you know what? I love that. Lurking and working. That is awesome. That is awesome, Monica. I love it. It says, except I'm a no semicolon and single quotes type of person. Yay. No semicolons. I forgot. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were asking me about, was I live? I don't remember where I was, but they were asking me about when do I use single quotes and double quotes, and it was a mess. But I forgot who I was talking to, but the answer was basically you just agreed upon style based on the development team. But I don't know. Anyways, let's get to it. All right. So let's get to our very first question of the night. So we got my guy Rod Brown in the building. What's up, Rod Brown? How are you doing? Rod Brown, you told me being compassionate was doing what you are supposed to do, right? That's what you told me. So you told me that I am actually a very, very compassionate person, and I appreciate you for that.
I appreciate you.
But no, Rod Brown, I do not have. You know what? I do have compassion for you, because it's been about 3 days, and you still have not gone live yet. So I guess I am very compassionate towards you, Rod Brown. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
All right, for real, let's get started with our first question, because we most likely will have some callers calling in tonight. So, format: question, answer, chat. Question, answer, chat. All right. So, and if somebody calls in, once I'm done with that question and answer, we go to the phone lines and we have our conversation and we go there. All right. So let's get to it.
Another one.
So this one is more, it's not really a question. It's more giving, like highlighting their experience as that they had a software development engineer in test interview at Amazon, their interview experience at Amazon. So we're just going to read through it together. And so I'm going to set the timer and I will give feedback and as I'm reading through it. All right. So that's basically what we're going to do with that one. Let's get started. So let me set the timer now. And because it might take some time to go through it. All right. So let's do it. Alrighty then, let's see. All right, so, and this was an SDET phone interview, right? And it took 60 minutes. And here's the breakdown for their interview at Amazon. I recently interviewed for a software development engineer in test SDET role. The interview lasted approximately 60 minutes and it covered both behavioral and technical topics. Here's a detailed breakdown of the interview experience. So the first 5 minutes was introduction. The interviewer introduced themselves and gave an overview of the team and role expectations. Then the person who was sharing this information says, I gave a brief introduction about my background, my current role as a software development engineer, and the motivation behind my transition to a SDET role, right? So this person is actually a software engineer right now, and they want to be a software engineer in test. So then it went into behavioral, and that's basically in line with how we start out, like how I start off my interviews. I give an introduction: who am I, how long I've been at the company, what I do, what team that I'm on, what type of stuff we work on, and then I say, okay, tell me about yourself. They give me a little brief introduction, if they're currently working, what they're doing, where they're working at, and then we go from there, right? So next, they go into behavioral questions. So when I interview, I normally go into because I'm normally doing a technical interview. So I'll go into the technical details of the project that we had them work on. But this interview, they went into the behavioral questions for about 10 to 15 minutes. It says, I was asked 3 behavioral questions, all focused on collaboration, adaptability, and ownership. So the questions were, explain a time where you were handed a project in the middle. Okay, that's a pretty good question. So basically they're asking, a project has already started and now you come on board and they say, okay, now you have to take over the project. So the other one, explain a time when you got involved in a project that was already started. It's the same thing. In the middle, already started, seems similar to me. Describe a situation where you took ownership. So this is like how, when you got involved, how you took the lead as, I guess, in this case, as a software development engineer. And so now this is a very good question. Why do you want to move to an SDET role from a software development engineer? I would be curious about this question because not many people actually move from being a software engineer to being a tester, a software development engineer in test. So I would be very curious to know why they want to make that move. I'm not going to say it's going backwards, but it's not common that you go from software development engineer to a software development engineer in test, right? Normally they want to continue writing their code. All right, so after that, they went into a coding round for 15 to 20 minutes. The topics were linked list manipulation. So they give you a input of an array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they wanted to come out with 1, 3, 5, 2, and 4. And I guess that's what they had to figure out. I don't know. I'd have to think about how to do that. I'm not sure why that's necessarily important. Maybe it is. I don't know. I think sometimes these questions or these tests that they give you is kind of dumb. Like some questions of them are kind of dumb, but I'm sure they have their reasons. All right. Next up, they had test automation design. I was asked to design a complete test automation framework for an e-commerce application. The requirements included, so basically by asking to design it is, how would you architect it? What would you include in it? So that makes sense. Basically to tell us how you'd build this framework. The requirements included web UI testing, API testing, database testing, parallel execution. So parallel execution is like when you have your test, you can run like 5, 10, 20 tests all at one time so that the test can execute faster. Reporting, configuration management, data management. So that's basically how would how would you build, like, how would you integrate web UI testing into your framework? What components would you have? So let's say you have in the framework a class that's setting up your, what do you call it? That's setting up your drivers or whatever. Like, let's say if you're using Selenium, right? Setting up your drivers, setting up your the browsers that you want it to run on. Are you going to be using a WebDriver factory? Or actually, no, that's actually built into Selenium now, right? And now, so you have your web test. How are you going to set up your, now you need to have a side of it for API testing to easily start API tests, to easily do database testing so the test can run simultaneously and it's not like one after the other, because that can take forever to run. And in the tech industry, it's all about getting fast, immediate feedback. So you cannot have your test running for hours and hours and hours, right? And then how would you set up reporting? How would you do your configuration of, like, let's say you want to do how many tests you want to run in parallel? Where do you want them to run? So what browsers do you want it to run in the cloud? Do you want it to run locally? All this type of configuration setup that you need to do. And then let's say data management. Are we creating new data? Are we using existing data? What's data for each environment? Do you have data for your local environment? Do you have data for your staging environment, for your development environment? Do you have data for production? Like, so those are the type of questions that they're asking you to think about when you are setting up that framework. Which going from a software development engineer, I don't know, unless they had already been doing the work or they've studied this, I don't know if they would be thinking about all of those aspects of it, right? So that's what I see here, right? Let's see. And then they ask finally they ask if they had any questions. And I'll say this: the questions that you have to your interviewer, very, very, very important. So to wrap this question up, I've been, a lot of times people are wondering why they get ghosted, why they don't hear back after the interview, or they say, oh, we decided to go with somebody else. That's because, as compassionately as I can say it, right, Rod Brown, this is with all compassion in what I'm saying. It's because you suck at interviewing. You don't practice. You don't you just try to wing it. You're robotic in your bad answers. You're looking all over the place. You can't hold a conversation. You're not interviewing them back. You ask terrible questions. So if you would take more time to prepare for these interviews, take more time to prepare your resume to make it look presentable, then you would have a better chance of landing these jobs. I've been one of the top people that I'm coaching, right, in like getting ready for a major interview this week. And we started interview preparation, mock interviews, since Saturday, and we have done one every single day. The first one was horrendous. Terrible. And I told them that. And guess what they said? Guess what happened? Do you think they said, you know what, I am, like, you are so mean and you have absolutely no compassion whatsoever. I will never, ever talk to you again. That's not what they said. That is not what they said. They said, you know what? Tell me what I did wrong and I will work on it. And guess what? We interviewed again on the following day, on Sunday, early in the morning. And guess what? It was also terrible. However, it was not as terrible as it was on Saturday. It got a little bit better. And asked for feedback again, gave him feedback, and straight to the point. And this is what you need to work on. You should know this, you should know that. That one, it was a little bit of a loop. And then we did it again yesterday afternoon. And guess what? It was much better. But but still not there yet. So then we did it again this morning, and it was much, much, much better. Still need some work, but from Saturday and Sunday, I told him, like, look, I actually said this. I said, if I wasn't like helping you with the mock interview, I would have ended the interview early. That's how bad it was. There were like, I probably would have just ghosted them if I was interviewing somebody for real, right? But the fact that we are training, like, this is why we do it. This is why it's important. So after all that time, like after like now two interviews, the third one is better. The fourth one is much, much better. I'm like, okay, although, it's still a little bit flaky on some aspects of it, it's easier to explain, to give some insight, some feedback. And I'm like, you know what? You would be in the list to be hired based on how the other people are. See, but my goal is to make them the number one contender, to make them the champion, because everything that you do is a competition. You're competing against those other people who are trying to get the same job that you are. So if you are not practicing for the job that you want, so that you can beat your competitors, then you have severely, severely failed.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
All right. So anyways, that's what I'm telling you. You have to work hard for these interviews. This person was nice enough to share their experience. Now, what are you going to do with that information? And I'll tell you this format of the interview, it's very similar to pretty much most tech interviews. So you better be ready. All right. Anyways, that is it for that one. Let's wrap that question up. All right, let's check the chat to see what we got going on in there. Let's see. We have Mr. Rod Brown with the nourishing word says, what live? What live? Rod Brown, I tell you. We got on the Twitch side of the game, we got Maddox in the building. What's up, Maddox? How are you doing today? Hopefully you are doing phenomenal. Always a pleasure when you stop by.
We the best.
And Maddox says, lab every day. That's what I'm talking about. And Rod Brown found my with all compassion involved. He found that hilarious. And Maddox has a great point here. Think of it like a tech gym. We have to work out. That's what I'm talking. See, you get it. Robert C. Martin, Uncle Bob. Now, I know that you guys are not going to like this. Not you. The people here, I know they get it. But to the general you guys, right? Not the people here, the general you guys. Robert C. Martin says, if you work 40 hours a week on the job, you should actually put an additional 20 hours in training, in practice, doing katas, writing your own code, learning new things, all that type of stuff. You should be putting in more time so that you don't have to learn on the job. The job is not there to teach you. I was watching a live stream from yesterday, right? And the people were saying, oh, it's the teacher's fault because they're not teaching our kids how to read. And somebody said, that ain't the teacher's fault to teach your kids how to read. I was like, yup. To me, the school system is supposed to give you the material, give your kids the material, and then, they help. But how, if you, this bothers me so much, right? If you, as a parent, can't handle your one or two kids to teach them how to read, how to do math, using the information that the school gives you, how do you expect one little old teacher to teach 30 kids who are all over the place? Some schools 40 kids. So I don't believe it's a teacher's job to teach your individual kid how to. For those who want to learn, let them learn. But and the thing that bothers me, right? Some teachers, they're so compassionate that they will focus all of their energy on the kids who really don't put the effort in and neglect the really, really smart kids, right? I'm telling you. Anyways, let's not get into that. But shout out to Max. You are totally right. Robert says you actually do have compassion, just a different type of compassion, more like tough love. Nothing wrong with that. Look at Rod Brown trying to butter me up so I don't keep messing with him about going live. I got you. I see what you're doing here, Rod Brown. I see what you're doing here. Yeah, this video was watching the same panel. Oh my God, you are right though. You are. It was pretty bad. AR video. It was pretty bad. Oh my God. We got Bozito Coding in the Journey. Says, here I am, boss. What's up, Bozito Coding Journey? How are you doing tonight? Let me do this, Bozito. Let me do one more question, and feel free to call in. I will have you in the back until I am done with that question, and then we can have a conversation about whatever you want to talk about, right? About QA, about tech, about whatever, right? So let me do that real quick. Let me get to one more question. Let Bozito get settled, and then we will have a conversation as soon as he calls in, all right? So let's get to our next question really quick.
Another one.
AI is speeding up development, but, what's going on here? All right, so let's see what this says. AI is speeding up devs and creating a lot more work for us. And by us, I'm guessing they mean for QA, you know? There's some song that talks about not like us or some nonsense like that. Oops. Sorry. Ooh. All right. Scratch that from the record. I did not call anything nonsense. All right. See, that was not compassionate. See, Robert got me feeling myself talking about I'm compassionate. Then I called people's favorite songs nonsense. Anyways, you know how it goes.
I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest.
All right. Let's do this. So, just had to share this after months of research and some internal testing at my company. AI is coding faster than ever. But it's also flooding code bases with subtle, hard to catch bugs. Aww. I've tested this across 3 production services using GPT-4o, Claude, and GCP 3.5. All passed unit tests but failed on edge cases like these. Race conditions, decimal precision in financials, encoding weirdness, partial rollback failures. Guess who's now more in demand than ever? QA engineers who can code, automate, and spot what AI misses. Demand for QA grew 17% 2023 to 2025, beating dev roles. 77% of QA job posts now ask for real coding skills. I agree with that. Playwright in Cypress, Selenium in most. So they're saying Playwright and Cypress more than Selenium in most new listings. I also agree with that. Some top tier QA roles now require DSA interviews like software DSA interviews. Anybody know what DSA interviews? What a DSA interview is? Let me see. What is a DSA interview? DSA interview. What's the DSA interview? Data structure and algorithm. Okay, gotcha. See, just tell me what it is, right? Data structure and algorithm interviews, like software engineering roles. The definition of a QA engineer is changing fast, and those who lean into coding, automation, and AI testing skills are seeing career boost, not threats. And they were even kind enough to share a link with us. Let me see. Should I share this link? Let me see what this is all about. Let's see what this link is all about. I'll share it for a second. So I'll put 5 minutes on the clock, and I'll go through this article real quick so that we can see what they're talking about. Let's take a look. Normally, I don't like to share a screen on Q&A shows, but this was pretty important. So QA and SDET is the safest job during the AI boom in 2025 market analysis. I don't know. Let's see. I spent the last 6 months researching how AI is affecting different engineering roles. I've come to the conclusion that's going to ruffle some feathers. Q engineers might be the most future-proof role in the entire tech ecosystem. I don't know about that, because I know a company which is actually using AI to do QA and automation. So I don't know. But let's see. Let's just read the TLDR. QA demand is skyrocketing as AI generates buggy code faster than ever. Companies are paying premium for QA who can code, no modern tooling, Playwright, Cypress, and have data structured algorithm skills to pass the increasingly dev-like interviews. Let's see. So they're saying, according to analytics, that analyzed trends in online job markets from 2023 to 2025, QA engineering positions grew by a shocking 17%, while traditional dev roles grew at 9%. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe for the higher level QA roles, but I always see people on LinkedIn begging to get QA jobs and like, oh, no one's like, well, okay, I take it back. Because usually those are for manual testing jobs, which that is hard to come across. So that's why I always tell people who are interested in learning QA, I don't even call it manual QA. I call it fundamental QA. And then at the same time, you need to go and learn automation testing as well. Let's see. AI can generate code at incredible speeds, but it's terrible at catching its own mistakes. I mean, to be fair, developers also are finding their own mistakes as well. Let's see. Dev, code is ready for QA. QA, you tested it right. Dev, QA, right? That's pretty funny. The evolution of QA. The definition of QA engineer is evolving rapidly. So let's take a look at that. The days of manual testers following scripts are effectively over. I have been saying that since I first came on YouTube, that there are no manual testing jobs. My first 6 months before I moved on, every break of software explorations, there goes Bozito calling. Let me answer and put him in the back for a second. Let me see. Hey, Bozito, how's it going? I'm going to finish answering this question, then I'll bring you up, all right? Perfect. So, all right. So, yeah, when I first started this channel, I would be looking for like 6 months. I'm looking, are there manual testing jobs? And I could not find any. I had to go on LinkedIn, go on Glassdoor. I was not able to find any. So now they're saying that days of manual testing following scripts is effectively over. According to our analysts, 77% of QA jobs now require coding skills, up from 53% in 2023. I've been coding in QA since 2011, 2012. And it just, look, at the time that I got into automation testing, there were not many people doing it. And now it is like the expectation. So, you know, and at the time I got in, we were using Unified Functional Testing by HP. And now everything is Playwright, Selenium, Cypress, and all open source, right? The tooling landscape has shifted dramatically too. According to the State of Testing 2024 report, Selenium usage dropped from 78% to 56%. That makes sense because other tools are coming up. Playwright surged from 12% to 43%, and Cypress from 28% to 61%. How? Maybe I'm confused about these numbers, but Selenium dropped from 78 to 56. Playwright grew from 12 to 43. And Cypress from 20, maybe I'm understanding these numbers wrong. Companies want QA engineers who can build robust and maintainable test automation frameworks using modern tools. That is a fact. Even more surprisingly, 32% of QA jobs now require candidates to pass DSA interviews, similar to those given to developers. As one FANG recruiter told me, we're not looking for traditional testers anymore. We want engineers who specialize in quality and can approach it programmatically. Let's see. The money is following. We use various. Whatever. I'll just drop this link in the chat. But very, very interesting article in case anybody is interested in reading it. But let's wrap that question up. In case you're interested, the link is in the chat to that article. Very, very. Actually, no, let me read this part real quick. The new QA path. If you're considering QA as a career or looking to pivot, here's what the market is demanding in 2025. Strong coding skills. Yep. Modern tooling expertise. Yep. DSA competence. Yep. You don't need to be lead code champion, but you need to know how to do this stuff. AI understanding. Yep. That's why we're doing large language models in the morning on this channel tomorrow morning, 7:45ish. We will be doing large language models. Automation architecture skills. Building maintainable, scalable test frameworks is now premium. Domain knowledge, understanding, good areas to go into QA would be the financial industry, very highly regulated industry. They're going to pay you very, very well. All of that good stuff. I would also add, though, infrastructure, knowing how to set up your infrastructure to run your automation tests, right? Anyways, let's wrap that question up, that commentary up. Really, really good information. All right, I'm going to read the chat, and then I will bring up Bozito to have a conversation. All right, let's see. I know what you're doing. Rod Brown. Let's see. All right, cool. So we got my guy J-Lo on the tracks in the building. What's up, J-Lo, and your amazing, amazing basketball videos. So hello, family. Here for a little bit. Shout out to J-Lo. All right. Let's bring up Bozito real quick. Let me see. Let me make sure. Bozito, give me a thumbs up if you want to be on camera. All right, let's do it. Where do I have that again? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Let me do it this way. All righty then. Why did I not have... Let me assign Bozito. Boom. There we go. What's up? How are you?
Hello, I'm good, and you? Thanks for having me.
You are very welcome. I am doing phenomenal. And I'm a little bit jealous that your video quality is so nice, but
What do you mean, like right now, or on my YouTube or my Instagram?
All the time. The lighting, the microphone blend, it's awesome. Anyways, how's it going?
Good. Just like studying and working a lot, trying to gather more and more knowledge and everything that I can right now.
Awesome. I do have some questions for you, but anything in particular you wanted to talk about?
I mean, like I said, like I told you on the last show, it's pretty much like I'm into that point that I've been studying for a while by myself, like Udemy course, YouTube tutorials, and etc. And I was like, think at the point that I'm right now, I need like a guidance, because for me, it's like I can reach something else faster if I had someone that know what is be on the field and have more experience than I just try to look it up everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's like that's the where I am right now.
Gotcha. All right, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you're right, because I'll give you a couple examples. All right, so I was coaching. I've coached a few people who have went to certain boot camps, and they basically are showing you, like, those boot camps show you manual testing, things from like 20 years ago, right? But what happened was, during the pandemic, there was like a boom in these positions. Companies were just hiring everybody. They had extra money, things like that. So you didn't really need that much to land a job, land 2 jobs, 3 jobs. But the people also didn't take the opportunity to learn while in those positions. They just wanted to say, hey, let me get these 5 jobs doing the bare minimum. Then time passes by and they start to let people go. You know what I mean? So now they're struggling to find a job. But the thing is, with these boot camps, these people come to me for coaching, and I'm like, all right, do you know how to do this? No. Do you know how to do that? No. Do you know how to do this? No. I'm like, this is kind of like what you need in today's day and age to get these QA jobs. So I'm all right. Well, this is what and this is what we're gonna have to do. The way that I would coach is through actually working on an actual project. So I'm all right. Let's build something in order to take you through the QA process, going through the agile methodology, going through like doing your daily stand up, having so with the people that I coach, I would be doing a scrum night where let's do our sprint review of the thing that we worked on for the past 2 weeks. Let's do our retro for how the past 2 weeks work. Anything that went well, that didn't go so well, things that we could improve on, and then we'll do our planning. So it's simulating the work environment, and even doing that, it's still not perfect, because companies work in different ways. So, but just try to give as close to a real experience as possible, where you're actually building something, producing something, and having something to be able to talk about in your interviews, on your resumes, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's hard to try to figure it out on your own. These boot camps, these Udemy courses, like, oh, you just take this class and you're ready to get a job in 6 weeks, and you're like, okay, why am I not getting any response?
Yeah, there's some boot camps. They like, oh, if you don't get a job in 5 months after boot camp, you're gonna get your money back or something like that. And then they were like 5, 6, 10,000 dollars for a boot camp like that, and like 6 months, 7 months. I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna be ready for job market in 6 months, and learning something new from scratch. You know what I mean?
You want to know a
And
secret?
uh,
In the fine print of those boot camps, they'll say after you complete the boot camp, you need to apply for 95 jobs a week,
mhm.
right? For the first 6 months, and then you need to apply for like 50 a week for the remaining 6 months, and then we may give you a refund if you never get a refund. Like, you're never gonna get the refund.
Yeah, I saw that they say like if you get a job offer, no matter how much they're gonna pay you, it counts as a job. So if you like, oh, we're gonna pay you, I don't know, 5 hours an hour, $5 an hour, and if you don't take it, it's your fault. Like, we got you a job. And I was like, oh, you know what? I don't know if I should invest $6,000 in something like that.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It I'll tell you another story, right? Somebody who wanted me to coach them. They had the basic membership in the Patreon, in my Patreon, because they would always ask me questions. I'm like, look, if you want me to keep talking to you, at least get the basic membership, and I'll talk to you in like the chat there. And so then I think this happened at the beginning of the year. So they canceled their Patreon membership, and then they messaged me on LinkedIn, says, hey, I'm trying to go through the course of the boot camp and like the automation part, and and I need some help. I'm like, are you serious right now? and I'm like, why don't you ask one of the people from the boot camp, like, you're paying them, right? It's like, oh, they're unavailable on weekends. I'm like, and you expect me to be available to you on a Sunday night? Like, come on.
Come on, yeah. For
You
free?
know? Right? So, but I like it. So let me ask you a question then. What made you interested in QA?
So, my story is a little bit, I don't know how much time we have for that, but like,
Take as long as you want. We're having a conversation.
okay, so I'm originally from Brazil,
Oh,
and I never planned to live in the US. In 2020, I came, I live in San Diego, California. So in 2020, I came for San Diego for 30 days vacation, and I got stuck here because COVID.
okay.
So I couldn't come back home at all because there was no flight for more than a year.
Uh huh.
So at that time, like my background is I'm a music producer and DJ.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my main job at that time. And during the pandemic, I was here. Like I cannot DJ, I cannot promote parties and anything. Like what I know and what I know to do, how to do, and I can make money. So I was like, oh, I have a background on audio and media in general. So I like doing photos, videos. So since 2020, that was my job. It's still my job nowadays, but it started more as a way to, like, I need to make money right now. During the pandemic, I'm stuck here in a country that I don't know anyone, and I was like, okay. So before that, I had this feeling that like I I want to learn something new that can give me like more guarantee than have my own business as a videographer and photographer. Because like when you're a videographer, photographer, you don't work for a company or something like that. It's pretty much you and your clients. And like I need something more safe, and but at the same time I need to be happy doing that. And I was like, I when I was like a teenager, I had some interest about building softwares, servers for games or something like that, but I never took it like serious, like my parents never like give me the support for that, so I just let it go. So when I was settled down here, I was like, okay, now I can take like do whatever I want with my money or something like that, and follow something that I'm gonna be happy and doing something nice. And I was like, okay, maybe that's time to come back to that feeling about coding, programming that I had years ago, but I didn't know even from where to start. So I have a friend. He lives here in the US. He's Indian, and he works for Intel. And I was like, hey, can you give me like an advice or something like that about? I want to start. I want to keep going with that feeling that I had years ago, to start something from scratch now. I'm kind of tired of being a videographer and photographer, but I want to do something that I'm gonna be enjoying at the same time. So he told me like, it's not easy. You're not gonna learn fast as you think, like just watch YouTube videos, something like that. But I'm gonna give you some advice. But like he's not like my coach or anything like that. It's just like a friend that I talk sometimes. So it's like I would say for you to start learning Python, and if you like, we're gonna have another conversation and I'm gonna give you some guidance. So he recommended me to do like a course, like a Udemy course, like teaching Python from zero, like how to install Python, Jupyter notebook, and etc. So after I finished that course, I was like, oh, this is actually cool, this is nice. And I started like building my own stuff, like to-do
Nice.
list or something like that, blah blah blah. But I was like, I don't know. This looks like weird. I don't know if that's something that I really want to do. And it's like, hey, can we talk again? And he kind of like, oh, he kind of gives like, oh, you should try to learn like pandas, matplotlib, something like that. This is more like for the data analysis side, because it was kind of booming at that time. And so I took another course on Udemy about data sciences. I learned how to do machine learning models, blah blah blah. And I was like, no, this is too much nerd. I cannot do this. So I didn't like the building stuff like as much as I thought, and the machine learning was too much, and the data analysis was too much. So I was like, hey, let's have another conversation here. What are my options? Where I gonna be something that, because like I'm not like a nerd, I'm not like super smart, but I'm one of those people like when I take something to learn, I'm gonna learn. Like I'm gonna put my energy in like every day on that until I get good on that. And that's what I've done like in my entire life. So he was like, you know what? I think the key way, it's the easiest way for you. You're gonna learn this, uh, and for it's easier for you to start a career as a automation tester than as a software developer. I was like, well, if you're saying, okay. So here I am again, another Udemy course bootcamp, complete bootcamp software tester, which was good. Like the foundation is pretty good, but like the automation part of that bootcamp is like just the basics, and then I start doing by myself. So when I start building the scripts, the automation, I was like running the test and see the pages coming, like everything that I wrote in that code, like uh happening on in front of me. I was like, oh, this is cool. So
Yeah.
then I start like, okay, yeah, that's nice. And I trying to debug a code. I was like, why the login is not working? So I really started liking it. Like I was like, not, it wasn't just doing something like, oh, because I can make more money or because something like that. So I really started enjoying doing the browser automation and the web scraping.
Okay.
So yeah, so about after like learning Selenium, Postman, Playwright, and etc. It was like, okay, so and now, what I do? How do I get a job? How learning how to do this data, this web scraping and browser automation give me a job? And I was like, I feel like I'm stuck now.
That is the ultimate question, right? Like, okay, now that I know this, how do I make use of it? Um,
Exactly.
okay, that makes sense. First thing I'm gonna say is you did it the right way because there are some people who would go and spend $6,000 on a software engineering boot camp. Oh no, I don't like it. It's not for me. Then they're gonna go and they're going into debt for this, right? Then they're gonna go spend another $5,000 on a data science machine learning boot camp. Oh no, it's not really for me. And then they're like, all right, let me try this other one. So they're up to like almost $15,000-$20,000, right? So I think you did it the right way because even which I'm pretty sure, and I hope that you bought the Udemy courses when they were on sale. But even if you bought it at full price, you're looking at like maybe $600 the most, right? Compared to
Yeah, I mean, like I bought the first one full price, like for $150. But then I figured out like every week they send me a code here and like
exactly,
$10, $15.
exactly.
So
So
the
so
first
you
one I
did it the
thought
right
was
way.
one time thing. I thought it was one time thing, so I bought like 10 different courses. So I spent another $150. And then
Oh my goodness.
I saw that like every week it happens. Like, okay, stop. So like I have a bunch of courses I'm gonna watch all of them, but I didn't. I like if I start, I go to the end, and then I start a new one and a new one and a new one, and then it goes like that.
Very cost effective way to learn anything, right?
Hmm.
Um, so now what's the next step is basically the question. So I think the problem that you would face being someone who has had the um, coding, like you know how to write the automation test, but you don't have any practical experience doing it for a company, is and working in like an agile environment, things like that. I think that's going to be the next hurdle. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Have you, in what you've been learning so far, have you worked with like CI/CD pipeline, like maybe Jenkins, maybe GitHub Actions, maybe TeamCity?
No.
So so that's gonna be that's gonna be something that like companies are like the thing I was just reading before I brought you up. They're talking about the like what's the new expectations for QA is, and even at the company that I work for, even when we are hiring like really entry level QA people, we're still having them do an a coding automation project, and we have, like we pretty much almost go through the same interview for whatever the level, but just the scrutiny that we do is different based on the level that they're applying for. But we still expect them to have a, like, coming out of college, we still expect them to have know some type of automation, things like that. Um, so I'm asking about the CI/CD pipeline, knowing about Docker, because you might be able to run some automate, like you might be able to create some automation tests on like an Amazon, right? But that's a website that already exists. What about working to build a software? How are you going to approach testing to that? It's not common that you're going to be working on just writing tests on something that's already existing. It's about you're building the software, so you need to know how to test the software that's being built, and then being able to automate it and think about what are the risks that are associated with building this. What's the acceptance criteria? Like, have you been able to look into agile methodology?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this boot camp that I finished, it started with like pretty much like manual testing part,
Hmm.
and it's very strong on agile methodology, user criterias and
Okay. Perfect.
etc. Like teaching how to write test cases, even though it's manual or something like that. But like
Perfect.
I said, like I don't know how it's applied on in a job, in marketing and daily
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah. But that's a part of it. Knowing, like, yeah, how to test locally, how to test in different environments. So what for the automation that you've been doing, what framework is it? Is it like Selenium, Playwright?
It's Selenium with Java.
Okay, okay, okay. So that is, as I was reading, like, that's still the top used one, but they are like, a lot of companies are looking into Playwright. I wouldn't even say Cypress that much, but let's say Playwright. Um, so, but that's still fine because at the end of the day, they all kind of work the same. They have the same end result. They just have different ways of doing it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, honestly, it's really it's taking all of that, all the concepts that you've learned and that you've tried, maybe on, I don't know what websites that you use to do the automation, but whatever website it is, it's, you know how to do it, right? Like the actual automation and stuff, but putting it in a way that um, is usable. That if you were to get brought into a company, that you can start contributing um, right away. I think that's the part that you need, and we can talk about that offline. But I think that's the next step for you, is to put that knowledge to actual use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I was like also getting back to the course to get my foundation stronger, because sometimes I think when we watch online class you go more like, oh, okay, you take some notes, but you don't really remember that, like, okay, let me really come back in and understand that I know what's a integration test, a regression test, or something like that. And I also don't know like how important that part it is, or it's like, oh no, if you know how to do the automation stuff and you master on Selenium, Postman, and etc., it's more important than your core and foundation. Some people say no, your core and foundation is more important than the tools that you know how to use. I'm like, yeah, I'm lost here. Each YouTube say something different.
So I would say the core foundations are important, but you're not gonna like you're not gonna be using that terminology all the time. So I know in some of those courses they're gonna tell you about all the different type of testing, the white box testing, the black box testing, the gray box
Yeah,
testing, the
exactly.
smoke testing, the regression testing, the retesting, and whatever other type of testing that there is, right? I probably use the word regression testing more than anything, right? But I don't think in the past 5 jobs that I had that I've ever used the term white box testing or black box testing, because you just do it. It's not like you're sitting in a meeting. Okay, well I have to do black box testing. I just you just naturally do it as part of the process, you know. So I think it's
Yeah, like,
important
oh,
to
I'm gonna
know it.
do a boundary values analysis right now.
Exactly. That reminds me, I was in this Discord like a few years ago, and a bunch of people were like trying to get a job into QA. And I gave them, all right, let me ask you an interview question. I gave them a scenario, and I said, all right, if let's say that you have this function, and it's going to take between 10 and 50, right? What would be the testing that you do? And they were giving me like all this like answer like, oh, okay, so uh, formal and ISTQB and the boundary type stuff, and I'm like, just give me the number, right?
I
So
just need the X, it's greater than 10 and less than 50.
yeah, exactly, right. So I'm like, just give me your test scenario. So a lot of times, like you can get caught up in trying to give like a perfect answer, but you're not actually testing the thing. So I think it's the information is valid, but it's more about how you apply that information instead of just being able to recite or regurgitate the information that's being given to you. And that's why, like I was talking about earlier, like you have to, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to you have to simulate, you have to practice, but in a way that it simulate the real the game. You know, like for using sports term, to simulate that way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's I've tried. Like me and my best friend ChatGPT are here talking every day. It's like, okay, give me 5 ideas of real world projects using Selenium, and then I go there and I put in practice. But sometimes at the same time, I think it helps a lot. It's also give you too much of the answers when you kind of stuck, and you
Yeah.
at the same time it helps. It doesn't teach you. So you know what I mean. So let's say
If
I'm stuck
you
in a function here. It's like, okay, tell me how to do this function, and just give me that and I don't learn because I can just copy.
when
If it's
I'm
work,
when I'm
okay.
s- when I'm streaming, like I I go out of my way not to ask ChatGPT the question of like I'm trying to figure something out. Some like Google has that AI thing now, but it gives you like the source links and stuff like that. It gives you an explanation, like when you search something on Google. But I always will also look at like Stack Overflow so I can see what the issue is, the different answers, the different ways people resolve it. I think like you're saying, like it just gives you the answer instead of like so you don't really get to figure it out. But a suggestion for you is find somebody who's building something, right? There's different Discord servers. Maybe some of the courses that you took have Discord servers, right? But find somebody that's building something and offer to do the QA portion of it, right? That way you can actually put to practice what you're learning. So you get to work, like, I don't know if you've worked with GitHub yet to push your code up there, but adding testing to somebody's project is going to help you tremendously. Like going through, like you're going to be able to apply the stuff that you have actually been, the stuff that you've actually been learning about the different type of testing. So when you have to test something, no one's going to be around to care. Oh, well, Lito's doing black box testing right now. Nobody cares. Like you just got you just it's about the results. You know that you have to do this type of testing to validate, but it's not about stating that you're doing it. It's just about doing it and sharing the results. So I would urge you to find somebody who's actually building something and then volunteering, because a lot of times these single two developers, they don't have testing, they're not thinking about testing. They don't even have a unit test. They're just like, I need to build something. So if they can bring you on board so that you can do all their testing and give that insight from a testing perspective, that's going to help you a lot. And that's a project and I would encourage you to make sure that this is a software that they're looking to put into production to have actually real users on it. That way, it's something that you can put on your resume that says, okay, I worked on A, B, C, and D. These are the results of working on this, so that you can have a really, really good resume as well.
Yeah, definitely. Because like um that getting that experience to put on the resume was something like a struggle, And the projects that I've been working, the codes that I'm writing and doing is like those dummy websites, like just they give you like the the user and the password so you can automate it. But sometimes like I said, like, okay, so what's the point to write 100 lines of code to do a login if someone can just go there manually and do that? So like, what's the 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 really um the really stuff here, right? A bunch of creating this framework for the pages, when for me it seems like when you do manual it's faster, or it's um easier or something like that. But like, I don't know how it
Well,
escalates when you're in a big company or in a regular company as well. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, I think regardless of the company, it, even let's say it's faster to just go to the login screen, enter the username and the password, right? But what if that's something that you have to test every single day? And after, let's say it's e-commerce, right? You need to every day, because e-commerce is very important. Make sure that the order, like people can order, people can create an account, people can log in. So let's say it takes you 10 minutes to do all of that, right? Make sure you can buy something, but you need to do it every single day, maybe multiple times a day, on weekends, Saturday, Sunday, etc. If you automate it one time and then you put it on the schedule to run as many times a day as you want, and if something fails, to send you an alert to check it. That's what the regression is. That's part of the automation. If the developers that you're working with, they make a change, they push up new code, the automation test, and that's part of the CI/CD pipeline. The automation test can just start running right away,
Mm,
and that'll give you immediate feedback of if the new code that they pushed broke something, or if everything passes, then you just have to test the new features and add new tests for that. Having API tests, where those API tests run a lot faster, having those automated, and you get immediate feedback of the business logic, if things are working, things are not working. So, although you might spend a week writing a suite of automation tests, right? In the long run, they'll be running on a regular basis, daily, multiple times a day, on new development, and now you can focus on other stuff instead of having to manually go and test the same thing over and over and over again.
got it. Yeah, about the GitHub, I have my account and I post some projects there, but not pushing anything on the command line or anything, just doing on the website and uploading file per file, and put the readme like Postman projects or Selenium projects, something like that.
I hate to say this to you, but you probably need to get a GitHub course.
Yeah, no, I do have a GitHub course
Nice. Yeah, you should,
to
because
watch.
I use GitHub every single day. I probably put doing different GitHub commands all the time. So very, very important. That's going to be an integral part of your work, because that's how you're going to push your automation code, and stuff like that. So really important.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna learn that. Yeah, there's a few lists of things that I still need to go through to learn and and
With
apply the.
your with the automation work that you've done, have you done the page object model yet?
Yeah,
Okay, good, good. Yeah, that's very important too.
yeah, because
Um,
I got a separate course just about Selenium, and this course the guy builds a framework
okay,
for a page, and I kind of took everything that I've learned and then that he taught how to build to the framework, and I built my own framework for another page. So I
nice.
kind of have like at least like the POM file already ready to go what I need, and I think it's easier when I do like the step page with the jerking, like with the when, giving, and then.
Okay.
I don't know if I can show you something here if you want to.
I've never shared screen before, but we can give it a try. I never shared screen here before. We can
I
give it
don't
a
know if I
try.
can. Let me see. I
I
think
don't
I
know
can.
either.
Yeah. Let me see. Do you see anything?
Yeah.
This-
All right. Let me see how I'm gonna do this. I have no idea how this is supposed to work. I've never done this before, so um, let's do that. Okay, I know what I'm doing. Give me a second. Let me do. I'm just gonna put it over us. Let me see if that's gonna work. I have not done this
If I,
part before. Let me see. We're gonna find out right now. All right,
I don't know
let
if
me
it's who
see.
is watching can see the.
Not yet. I gotta figure it out.
What's this? Oh,
What?
it's only money.
Shout out to my
It's
guy
only money.
Jado on the track. Shout out. Let me see. Let me read the super chat real quick. Jado on the tracks. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Says, while we wait, I wanted to say, keep working. You got this. Also, which and how many languages do you speak other than coding? So I speak Haitian Creole, and I understand French. Uh, you can answer too, Bozito. How many languages do you speak?
Just Portuguese and a little bit of English.
Bom dia. I train Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, so I hear a lot of Portuguese on a daily basis. All right, let me see. Let me try to get this thing up. Let me see if is this gonna work. If we go to, let's see, that's me. Let's go to. All right, so I'm just gonna, for now, I'm just gonna put this over us right here, and
Here we
then
go.
I'll close it later. All right,
You
so
can
it's
cover my face.
yeah, I don't. I'll put it over my face. There you go. You talk about it.
Yeah. So this is a like a dummy website, and when you just click here, it gives you the the user and the password, and just like emulates like a appointment page, like you can choose the facility, the healthcare program that you have here, pick up a date, leave a comment, and then book an appointment. So what I've been working, it's to create like this using the future page.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, using the future page and with the scenarios here. So given the user is logging in and I access the healthcare page and I choose the facility and I apply, blah, blah, and here are the data that I can use. And then that's my base, right? The steps, the future, sorry. And here the steps go for the code. And when I have to do, like, let's say here, on the visitor date, I want a random date. So on the page, I put here on the page object all the functions that I need to create. So for the date, the random data, for the random text, and also I create a hook page to have the get driver here. So I don't need to have inside the code. And here also what is that? And the pawn already with the impedance of Cucumber, the WebDrive Manager, and Selenium. So this code here pretty much go with all these test cases here. So it's gonna log in and select this facility with this health program with a readmission. So then I'm gonna go again with another hospital with another healthcare program without the checkbox, and always running with a random date and a random comment. So it goes testing all the facilities with all the healthcare programs. With this checkbox, it's asking if the person wants to do like you see here this apply for hospital readmission. It's just this checkbox here. And I also create a function to validate that it went to that page. So if the Selenium find the object appointment title, it means that it went through. And I also create for the login here with a valid user and a wrong password, just to make sure it wasn't going through. But that's the framework that I have like ready until now, and I think the next step would be to have another page object with the more stuff to, like the get the URL and send keys and all the data in a separate file, right?
Yeah. I think that's really really good, especially for like learning most of this stuff on your own. But yeah, still not still need to formalize all of that, and so that's why I would highly encourage you find someone who's building something and be part of that and contribute to that, so that you can actually put all the stuff that you've learned, and you can even use your framework to test what they're building as well and find bugs. And that's really what's going to be learning through working is really going to be it's in a sense it's almost like on the job training, although you don't have like the job itself, but you're giving yourself, like, you're creating your own internship basically.
And how I found these people?
I mean, there's different Discord channels. Look for Discord channels that have, like, tech Discord channels where people are building stuff. There's some Slack groups. You can probably maybe find it on like anywhere that you're active. Like if there's like meetups locally in where you live, go to those. Just post things on social media. Talk about it and say, hey, look, I'm a Q engineer. I'm trying to build more experience. I want to test your application. I want to work with you to test your application to make it even better, right? And find somebody that way. But you have to put yourself in a position to build that experience. And then once you have that, then you and I can talk like, okay, take a look at doing this, take a look at doing that. This is what this means, things of that nature. But that's how you put yourself in the driver's seat, so that, because the problem that everyone has is they don't have experience. But how am I going to get experience if I don't have a job? Well, you're going to have to create your own experience by finding people who might not have a company, like they're just trying to get what they're doing off the ground, contribute to it, be a part of it, put it on your resume, talk about it, say, oh, and make sure that this is something that's going to be in production, so you can actually show, oh yeah, I worked on this. This is part of the work that I've done. Things like that.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah,
But we
definitely.
would definitely talk about that some more. But like start looking for those people who, because a lot of people like they're building stuff, so they don't know yet that they need it, but they need someone to make sure their stuff works.
Yeah, I have a friend. He has an app for the. His app pretty much tracked the timeline for the Disney attraction, for all the Disney attractions. And I was like, hey, can I offer you something as a QA? It's like, we don't change the code. Like, there's nothing to test here or something like that. So, and when we have the developer do that, I was like, okay. So it's like trying to find more like people or something like that. I think that they're probably going to be the best, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to look for it. I mean, I would probably argue with them like, well, let me test it anyways. You know, like even though you don't change anything, what if I find something that wasn't changed that needs to be fixed? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, just talk to people. Eventually, like, you know, if it's hard enough to find someone taking like you testing something at no cost, imagine how hard it is with no experience to test something that you're gonna get paid for. You know, so you got to find a way to network and build that experience.
Yeah, what I was trying to do also, it's going to that freelancer.com website and see some projects there and offer like for free or something like that. But they pretty much what they need, they are asking there is someone to build like a web scraping, like, oh, I need to capture all the leads for doctors appointment for doctors in my city or something like that. And I was like, I don't know if it's that something useful or not really, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. If you're using Selenium to do it, I would say do some of them just so you can get some more of that experience.
Hmm.
But it's but yeah, definitely like look for someone who's building something and
Yeah.
jump on their team. See, you know, whoever wants to work with you to do that. I think that's going to be a wonderful experience for you and for them.
Yeah, then definitely gonna look at that and try to find people that can help me with that, and I help them also.
Perfect, perfect. But yeah, you know, anything else?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean,
Cool.
but another thing that I've seen, like, I don't know, that I want to get your opinion about. That's like, we know that like AI is trending now. Everything is AI. AI is gonna take. You can build an app without knowing how to code and etc. But my point is like, um, how would you say like, instead of being afraid of AI, we actually can take advantage of that and put together with the key engineer, you know, like, I don't know, a AI key engineer or something like that, you know what I mean?
Um, there's always going to be a need for some level of human intervention in whatever it is that's happening. So in the mornings, I am learning large language models, doing AI stuff, connecting to OpenAI, to Claude, to Gemini, Perplexity, and stuff like that. And not that I'm doing it specifically for QA, but I know that if I come across, oh, AI is going to fit in well with this QA thing right here, I already know how to work with these platforms. something I was thinking about the other day. If you can use AI to automate parts of your workflow so that you can like, let's say, generate defect reports or bug reports quickly with all the details, so you can find stuff and say, okay, I need a report based on like that has this information, and it just generates it for you. So the way that I see AI, for all the stuff that have it do the non-important stuff, so you can focus on the parts that are important of, like, actually testing, going through. Another way is like, okay, we're building this application. What are some edge cases that I should be thinking about? And it might give you a list. And now that what it gives you triggers like, oh, okay, yeah, there's also this, that, and the other. And now you have to go out there and test it and automate it and stuff like that. But I think that it is a great enhancement to being more to have more robust testing, to get faster reports done, things of that nature.
Yeah, but what we're saying is like, do, do you see like a way to add AI to the QA as like something to understand, and also take advantage of the hype, some relation, some, I don't know, like I said, do you see that as like a new position, inside the QA environment related to AI or something like that?
I guess it depends on. I guess it depends on what, not necessarily the QA, but if the company is building something, a division around AI or something like that, then they might have QA people on the team, but I wouldn't really call them an AI QA engineer unless
Mm-hmm.
it's specifically for, let's say, unless you are working for one of these large language model companies and you're testing the large language model, or let's say your company's building one, then maybe you would be considered a AI or LLM QA engineer. But I don't, as of right now, I don't really see where there's just going to be an AI QA engineer at any random company.
Mm-hmm. See.
For
Yeah, I
now, at
think
least. For now, at least.
not for now.
Things change fast though. Like I might say that now, and then like in 3 months, oh yeah, there's definitely gonna be a need for AIQ engineers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like the AI engineer wasn't even a thing a few years ago, right? So now
Yep.
there's like this. Like I have a friend. He was also work. He was a data analyst, and he just changed for being like AI engineer. Now he's building AI agents for companies and business and etc. And I was like, oh, I even didn't know that was something that would happen.
Yep. Definitely. Definitely. All right. Sounds good. So let's be in touch.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your time and all the answers and the knowledge that you give to us every day here on YouTube.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah,
But
like
yeah,
when
let's
I
be in touch, and we'll talk some more later.
yeah, when I found your channel, I was like, this guy looks so nice and friendly. Let's let me follow him and see what I can get from this YouTube channel. So then I started watching all the shows and all the old clips and keep in touch. I was like, I have to message him.
Well, not everybody will agree with you that I'm nice and friendly, but thank you anyway. All right, Bolito. I will check with you later. You have a great night.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good night,
Yep.
guys. Thank you for the time.
Take care. All right, that was Bozito. Thank you so much, Bozito. Truly, truly appreciate you coming up onto the channel and sharing your insight, your journey. Like I said, y'all, it is not an easy journey, but if you can make it to the other side, it is well worth it in tech. Whether you're doing QA, whether you're doing software engineering, project management, whatever it is well worth it at the end of the day, right? Let me check the chat real quick, and we have about 25 minutes. We can get to another question, unless Rod Brown wants to call in and have a conversation. All right. Let me see. Or anybody just wants to call in, feel free to call in. All right. But let me check the chat. We got, let me see, anything before that? Nope. We got my guy, Wave Nerd, in the building. Wait, I was talking about you earlier today. So I finally had a chance today because it's been a crazy day, but I had a little bit of time today to look into some of the links you sent me. I was able to look at the first one about the model context protocol. I have the link right here. And I was like, oh, this is pretty impressive. So now I am excited to look in that. I was like, you know what? I should just make a video about reading this so that I have a reason to actually prioritize it. But I'm like, wow, this is really cool what it's talking about, to give people a quick idea of what it's about. Oh man, let me see, where is it? In case you haven't heard it, it's an MCP, Model Context Protocol, is an open protocol that standardizes how applications provide context to large language models. Think of MCP like a USB-C port for AI applications. Just as a USB-C port provides a standardized way to connect your devices to various peripherals. Oh, look at that. Did I just hit the word peripherals with no issues? Shout out to me. All right. Peripherals and accessories. MCP provides a standardized way to connect AI models to different data sources and tools. So once I read that, I was like, what? Get the out of here. I have got to jump on that to read more. So Wave Nerd, like I said, we will be in touch very, very soon. I'm reading through the documentation you sent me. All right. Let me see. Shout out again to my guy J-Lo on the track with the $5 super chat. Shout out to you.
I appreciate you.
And J-Lo says, okay, nice. I dabble in a lot of languages. I know a little bit of French. Shout out to you. Arabic, Swahili, and currently learning Japanese. That's awesome. That is awesome, J-Lo on the track. You are a very well-traveled man. Monica says, AI is horrible at testing, at least for enterprise level. Complex software, even simple tests I tested it with, it needs guidance. Hard to guide when the tester doesn't know either. That is a great point, Monica. And that's why I was like, you know what? I would use it to simplify certain tasks. Like, all right, let's say I found an issue. I'd be like, all right, can you create this report for me? And then, because I've seen it does a pretty good job at writing stories and stuff like that. And then I just go ahead and modify the stories as needed. But I wouldn't rely on it to, like, maybe it's me, but I don't even see, Monica, are there any particular tools that you use for that? Because how does it know where to go, what to navigate, how to test the API? It just, I don't know. I just can't envision how AI would be able to do this. But I haven't used AI to do testing yet, but I don't know. Let me see. Wave Nerd says, let's go. MCP AI agents with humans in the loop. That's what I'm talking about. Jada on the track says, I don't know about well-traveled, but I will be stationed in Japan in about 3 months. So I will be then. Shout out to you. Well, you know what that means, right, JLo? When you are stationed in Japan, you are going to have to create I guess it wouldn't be well, would it be? I guess Japanese basketball. Yeah, Japanese basketball highlights. You're going to have to start us creating us some Japanese basketball highlights. All right. I'm just saying. All right. What time is it? It is. We got 20. Let's get like one or two more questions in unless somebody calls in. All right. Let's do it. Shout out again to Bozito for having that amazing conversation. I love talking to people, seeing what they're working on, getting their insights, giving some feedback. I love doing that. Believe it or not, I am an introvert, but I love talking to people. So shout out to all of you guys, and it's for tuning in as well, right? Do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. All right. What in the world? Give me a second here. Oh, this thing wasn't running at all. All right. Anyways, Anyways, let's get to it. I don't even know what question number we're on. Let me check. What question am I on? All right, there we go. Let's get to it.
Another one.
Should I mention being fired? All right, so I was recently fired. Should I say that in future interviews? Interesting. Let me start by saying I'm assuming that general rule is to not say you were fired in an interview. Could raise big red flags, to say the least. But I don't want to lie.
I'm just being honest.
I was recently fired at my job for not meeting expectations. Oh.
Bruh.
But I think there's a lot more to that. Since there is talk going around that the business is looking to cut corners and is struggling. Not trying to put the blame on them and not me, but they have been firing a lot of people lately, so I am not surprised. How should I go about interviewing? I don't think it's a good idea to say I was fired. I'm thinking of going with the classic, I'm just looking for something new when asked why I'm leaving my current/last position. Any advice? Any thoughts on how I should go about questions about why I left my last employer / why I want to leave them? All right, so let's put our timer up for that one. So I would say do not offer the fact that you were fired. That's not a good idea. I would not say that I was fired, even if they ask why you're leaving or why you left. Just honestly,
I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest.
the honest fact is that you are looking for a new opportunity, right? So it's, the other problem, how long were you at your previous company? Because if you got hired and then like 6 months later you got fired and they're like, okay, you're looking for a new opportunity now. So in that case, then I wouldn't lie, right? But I would bend the truth just a little bit, all right? I would bend the truth just a little bit.
They ain't believing us.
I would say that instead of saying that you were fired, I would say that you got laid off. Because at the end of the day, getting fired and getting laid off is the same result, except for laying off, you might get a severance. Fire, you don't get anything. They escort you out right away with a box, if they even let you go back to your desk. But you still have the same end result. You are unemployed. So if it was within like 6 months, says, oh yeah, I was hired, and then 6 months later they had layoffs and I was part of the cuts, and that's why I'm looking for a new position. So that's how I'd approach that. But here's my question for you, right? How did you not meet expectations? See, because a lot of times we're not meeting expectations. We kind of know this, but I think that you don't want to keep going from company to company, not meeting expectations. So you need to do something that is going to prevent you from getting fired in the future, right? You might be right that it's not you, it's them, it's the company who is, struggling and they're getting rid of people, but make sure you cover your bases, make sure whatever it is that you're doing wrong, you have fixed that, because I don't want you to also get fired at whatever company hires you in the future. But I would mask it as I was laid off. The company is downsizing for whatever reason. And you know what? Just blame it on tariffs. Blame it on tariffs. Right? Just say, these tariffs took a major toll on my company, and I was the newest one to get hired, and then I got let go first, right? That is an absolute lie. Yes, that's an absolute lie. But if you're gonna But no, seriously, you got laid off, right? Just don't say that you got fired. Just say you got laid off. But in the meantime, work to improve whatever reason you got laid off for. So if you fail to meet expectations, maybe you need to work longer hours. Maybe you need to work harder. Maybe you need to take a course. Maybe you need to, whatever those expectations are, you need to work on that so that you can be better and you are not left in the wind wondering why, wondering what could you have done? What should you do? I don't want to lie, but I'm unemployed. All right. So with that being said, we're going to wrap that question up. We still had some time left, but we're going to wrap that up. There's not much to say. Sometimes you have to bend the truth just a little bit. All right. Rod Brown, don't come at me for that one. Don't come at me for that one. Let's wrap that question up. All right. Let me check the chat again and see what we got going on in there. Let's see. Wave Nerd says Apple is releasing Vibe Code platform with Anthropic and OpenAI is building Windsurf. Should engineers learn these platforms? That is an excellent question. And my answer is, first, overall, the answer is going to be yes, right? You should always be aware of the new things that are coming out. Depending on what type of engineer that you are, you might. So my concern with these platforms, these vibe coding platforms through Apple, Anthropic, OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, Lovable. I looked into Lovable. Shout out to Wave Nerd for that. And my concern is that you get locked into these platforms because now, let's say you want to customize something that you don't have the ability to, or you want to move from Lovable, for example, to the one that Apple's building with with Anthropic or whatever. It's so hard to move from place to place, and that's why I'm always leery of these platforms that build everything for you. I see it like prototyping and stuff like that to get a quick answer and result. But when you end up being so, like, I don't like to be tightly coupled to anyone, right? I have commitment issues. Okay. So I want to be, you know what? I'm like, AWS is charging me too much. I'm going to take my software and I'm going to move it to Google. I'm going to move it to Microsoft Azure. So that's how, like, should you try it out, know it, understand it? Yes. Should that be like, oh, this is what we're going to use? It depends. I don't like to be locked in to any one company, because guess what? Now let's okay. All these people who have Shopify, right? And they have all their products on there. They're kind of like held hostage at this point by Shopify, because what if Shopify says, okay, you know what? We're going to be raising our monthly charge from 30, 40, however much you pay for Shopify, to $70, right? Let's blame it on tariffs. And then they say, and the percentage that we get per sale, we're going to be upping it from, I don't know, just throwing out a number, 5% to like 15%. And you have everything there. For somebody who's not technically savvy, do you know how hard it is to set up to migrate to another platform? I don't even know what other shopping platforms are out there, but to migrate to another platform, or to get your own, let's say you're using WordPress, using WP Commerce, right? So that's why for me, I'm always hesitant to be like tightly coupled to any one particular company. But should they learn it? Absolutely, they should learn it. They should at least be well aware of it, right? Monica says, I was playing with the Playwright MCP server, gave it a prompt with what it needed to know. It wrote tests, ran it, and told me the results, which that worked. But test failed. I fixed it, then it worked. +1 for the humans. Monica says, these were simple tests. Nothing hard, simple navigation, open, check some element is visible, take a snapshot, stuff like that. And It still needed Monica's intervention to fix it. Playwright needed Monica to fix its life. All right, I hear you. Makes sense. That's awesome. I didn't even know Playwright had that, so that's awesome. I'm gonna go check that out as well. Monica says, oddly, the agents chat GPT and then use Claude each did some weird stuff. So it's just randomly doing, okay, that's hilarious. Let's see. We got Miss Freckles in the building. Just popping out from the bushes. Shout out to Miss Freckles. How are you doing today, Miss Freckles? So happy, as always, to see you.
I appreciate you.
Rod Brown says, it's official. It is official. I'm a vibe coder now. What?
Bruh.
All right. Waver says, Lovable is connected to GitHub and push the code there. Interesting. I have not, to be honest, I just went to the homepage today. I have not got a chance to look into it. So I'm just talking ignorantly right now. But we will look into all those, right? Yeah, cool. Let's see. 7 minutes left. There's not time for another question. We are going to leave it as that for today. We had some amazing conversations with Bozito Coding. We had amazing insight from the chat from Monica. We had Rod Brown keeping me on my best behavior. We had JLo on the track with the super chat. Shout out to JLo on the track. All right. Miss Freckles, no. Don't congratulate him, Miss Freckles. Don't congratulate him. Soon we're gonna get vibe live streams from Rod Brown. Nope, we're not doing that. We want the real deal. All right. They ran my AI clone away. All right. So I'm just saying. Let's see. We have a Leaf episode over on the Twitch side of the game. Says, what is this? This is a tech Q&A show where I am going, answering questions, chatting. People can call in and chat, all of that good stuff. Let's see. Rod Brown says, Ms. Freckles, thank you. It's all about the vibes. No.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
We're not doing that, Rod Brown. We are not doing that. Monica says, to make it clear, the Playwright MCP server worked properly. It is the agent's setup. Some better prompts may have better, but I can write and run the same test faster than asking the AI, and it works. I hear you. And I mean, in all fairness too, they're going to be working on training these agents to be better and stuff like that. I have not looked into the Playwright MCP server, so that is a homework for me to do as well. But that's really cool. Monica, you are a superstar. Says TCR didn't pass the vibe check. Oh man.
Bruh.
Says, dude, Leaf episode says, dude, I feel like I'm on a TV show I wasn't invited to star in. What? You know what, Leaf episode? If you want to come up, Leaf episode, I will be more than happy to drop the link for you so that we can have a conversation. Actually, the link's it's not gonna go on here. Hold on, let me drop it for you. Let me see. Where is it? There you go, Leaf episode. If you want to call in, we can have a conversation. Feel free to click the link and let's talk. You are more than welcome to this TV show, all right? One of my dreams as a kid was to make it on TV, and YouTube allowed me to make it on TV and be my biggest fan. Rod Brown says, it's a vibe. Rod Brown. What are we going to do with you? What are we going to do with you, Rod Brown? All right. Let me see. 4 minutes left. Time is up. Leaf episode. I'm going to wrap the show up. Feel free to call in next Tuesday night. Same bat time. Same bat place. Really appreciate every last one of you guys for tuning in today. We had a great time. Great time. All right. I think that's it for today. We're going to be live tomorrow morning. Actually, I just remembered I have a meeting early in the morning. So we're going to start the show earlier. Probably 7:15-ish, 7:20-ish, so that we can make it out by 8:15-ish, so I can make my 8:35 meeting. But we're going to continue working on Gradio, all that good stuff, all right? Other announcements, tomorrow at noon, we're going to be premiering our software expressions concept and overviews. I'm going to be showing you how to create your AWS access keys so that the following week we can set up our AWS CLI, configure it so that we can be connected. All right. We're going to be going live on Thursday night for ethical hacking. We're going to be continuing with our port scanner, all of that good stuff. Looking forward to seeing you there. Do the work, y'all. Do the work. It's hard for me to have compassion when you guys don't do what you're supposed to do. So, as Rod Brown says, do what you're supposed to do. It's an if-then statement. If you do what you're supposed to do, then I will have compassion on you. All right? If not, then no soup for you. Anyhow, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a wonderful night. Do me a favor on your way out. If you haven't already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. If you're on Twitch, follow me and help me get to 50 followers on Twitch so that we can even produce even more and better content. All right. TechCoachRob.dev. Sign up today. Exclusive content. Clipping up the videos from the meetup from last weekend so that I can share that amazing content, that amazing information that Magnetar shared with you guys. All of that good stuff. Right. But with that being said, I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful night. TechCoach Ralph, we are
Still have a lot to do, I still have to put away the chairs. But anyway, I've got all the chores. Or anyway, it's up to me to do them all. I still have to put my clothes today. All in all, reality is cats, like an alley cat at your park. But now I gotta do your part. I got a day job and a night job and an interview at 5. You've gotten rid of both boyfriends and you've given me the green light. I got a day job and a night job and an afternoon away. You just waved a hand and we're engaged, you say. I've been up since 4 a.m. and finishing this at midnight. After this thing I should sell it and call it quits when the getting's good. I took a night at your new club today to take a break away from the rats. But now I got your locker stool and your car keys in my cart. I pick up the pieces left on the floor while you walk away like you don't care no more. I'm tired of cleaning every mess you make, slowly losing patience with every break. Every promise broken never leads to change. I'm the one who's always left rearranged. Your lack of effort shows clear as the day. I'll be sweeping you out when I find my way. Hey, hey, I'm the cleanup crew, fixing your mess just like it's new. Hey, hey, won't be here long, cleaning house, I'm moving on. Watching you take credit for the work I do, every single task I pull double through. Your empty words no longer faze me. Soon enough your history, just wait and see. Where's the spark, the dedication gone? I'm carrying weight, dragging us along. No more excuses, your time is past. This sweeps your fate, I'll make it last. Hey, hey, I'm the cleanup crew, fixing your mess just like it's new. Hey, hey, won't be here long, cleaning house, I'm moving on.
They said I wouldn't make it, they laughed at my dream. Every move I made felt like swimming upstream. But yesterday I met a fan, eyes full of belief. In their gaze I saw the end to my grief.
Doubt didn't win, trust began. Looked in the mirror, saw my biggest fan. Heart beats like a drum, fight through the span. Kept on pushing, now I'm the man.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I saw myself alive. I put in all the hours, climbed out from the dirt. They dissed and dismissed, said I'd always get hurt. Met a fan so loyal, reflections don't lie. My biggest supporter is just me in my mind.
Through the noise and shadows I held my ground. Bumps, bruises, broken, no comfort found. But that fan smile turned my world around. Now I'm rising sky high above the sound.
Doubt didn't win and trust I began. When I looked in the mirror, saw my biggest fan. Heart beats like a drum, fight through the span. Kept on pushing, now I'm the man.
From the ashes I flew, they can't dim my flame. Every mocking voice only fed my aim. Yesterday showed me it's not just a game. Cause in my reflection I found my name.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I'm the man.
From the ashes I flew, they can't dim my flame. Every mocking voice only fed my aim. Yesterday showed me it's not just a game. Cause in my reflection I found my name.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I'm the man.